both record the meeting and also put it live. So good. So that's a quick introduction of mine. And I also want to take about 5 minutes or so to kind of little introduce you to the concept of open learning, as well as a little bit about about ROE, very little, just kind of a brief, and then we can get into question and answers and discussions. Yeah. So let's start with that. Just give me a moment. Okay. I hope you can see the slide. Wait, let me little adjust. Yeah, it'll adjust the sharing part of it. Right. So when we talk about open learning, obviously there are many terms. Some people talk about homeschooling. Some people use the term of unschooling. Some people say open learning, or at least we say open learning. So there's also a lot of confusion which term means what. And one of the things that I tell people is don't get lost in these terms. They don't mean anything. What really is important is that we realize that we have lots and lots and lots of options. As parents, as families, as children, we have lots and lots of options. On one side is the totally structured kind of a schooling, which I guess most of us have been through, at least as when we were children. And on the other side is not having any curriculum, not having any structure, keeping it very open and organic. But the point is that it's a continuum, and one can be anywhere in between at any point of time, keep changing it, keep doing, go more structured, go less structured, go totally unstructured, go back to school or college, and keep again moving. The idea is that one has so many options, and based on what one wants to do, one would change or rather choose the options, right? So it's the naming is not important. What is really important is for us to realize that education doesn't mean one thing, which is what at least I was grown up with. Education means school plus college, the end, right? That's how education was given to us, at least, and even as parents. But what we now realize is education means that there are millions of options, and what drives those options is what is interesting. So when we started working with children, the question that kept on coming back to us again and again is, what is the purpose of education? Why do we even want education, or for our children or for ourselves? And most of the answers seem to be, if I look at the conventional system, is more to do with earning, this career or that career. That seemed to be the way to go forward. But for us, that didn't look like a very interesting answer, or rather very, you can say, meaningful answer. What really made sense was when we realized that education is nothing but something which is same as living, actually. I almost say that living and education, or living and learning, is synonymous. Yeah. And if that is how we want to look at our life, that we are getting educated the whole of our life, we're all the time learning, we're all the time living, we are doing, we are failing, we are growing, we are trying, we are exploring, then who should drive this life? Should it be driven by somebody else, or should I be the leader of myself? Can I, as Rekha was mentioning, that, sorry, Rakhi was mentioning, sorry, Rakhi, you were mentioning that, nobody teaches a child how to turn, how to walk, how to talk. They just learn it by themselves because they want to. So if a 1-year-old can be a leader of himself or herself, a 2-year-old can be a leader of himself, why can't we continue that leadership? Why should we take away that leadership and say, no, 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 you don't know anything. I will tell you what to study or how you spend your day, week, month here. Why can't we let the child lead? You know, much like how your son who's into music, that makes more sense to me. He is saying, I want to do music. Why can't he lead himself and see what he wants to do in music? Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So when we think in this way, when we think of the child being the leader, we come up with 4 thoughts. The first one is, why should we have a curriculum? Or rather, why should we bind the child with the word of curriculum? Why can't the child decide what he or she wants to learn at different points of time, when they are 4 years old, when they're 10 years old, when they're 13 years old, when they're 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever age, they can fairly decide. Not that what the curriculum has given us something very major. All right. So that's the first thought. Can we let the child decide? Is the child capable? Maybe the child will need guidance, but that anyway, we are there for the child. And the child can also seek guidance of not just us, but from different people, from different sources. And if the child is going to decide what to do, what to learn, then the child is also perfectly capable of figuring out what, and not just what, but how to learn it. Different children like to learn or do things in different ways. Some like through being taught, some like being explorative, some like to use YouTube or a website or a book, and so on and so forth. So different people use different things. Some likes internships and so on. So if we give both of these things in the child's hand, which means what to do and how to do, then it doesn't make sense for us to kind of run the child through some tests and exams. Why can't the child assess himself or herself? Am I doing what I am wanting to do? Is this enjoyable? Is this something which is meaningful to me? So the child gets into the whole mode of self-assessment or self-reflection, which I think is a lifelong journey where we keep on assessing ourselves and keep on reflecting. In any case, if at this age I wouldn't like others to assess me, why should I think that a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old would like others to assess him? And finally, why should we impose this whole concept of school, college, degree? Why can't we let the child figure out what path the child wants to take? It could be that the child says, I want to have this degree because what I want to do, the degree would help. Fair enough. But there could be so many other options of doing self-learning or doing specific courses, of doing internships or apprenticeships, or and so on and so forth. So one doesn't need to impose the school or college or the structured learning necessarily onto the child. So that these 4 thoughts bring us to the whole concept of open learning. And I just want to play a quick 1-minute video just to show you some thoughts expressed by some of the children at ROE, just to get a sense of how each child looks at himself and his or her learning very differently. So just watch this video for about a minute. The video is also made by one of the ROE children, ROE child, sorry.
Connecting with people is amazing.
I like chit-chatting with my friends while eating.
An opportunity to take all the guests around the tour, around the campus.
Currently, I'm working on improving myself so I can play in a club next year.
I get resources and support to fulfill my passion for sketching.
I sketch many things of animals, birds.
In Arohi, I am a guest and I can find my space here, pursuing my interest on upcycling.
I drum to express my emotion and it makes me feel lighter. In bird watching, I learn a lot of things. What is color of bird, and
I like the time when I spend with the community playing sports.
I spend time doing projects related to cinematography and video editing.
I like organizing trips in Narohi, Kyunki. Your opportunity is to organize trips.
video making is awesome. It's productive and you get an awesome outcome.
I like to do electrical work. I've put many.
I connect with the planning here, gives me clarity. I learn crochet and teach others crochet.
எனக்கு சமைக்கிறதுக்கு இங்கே ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும்.
All the resources here are new to me to explore.
I hope you noticed one thing in this whole video. When the children are speaking, they're not necessarily talking about future. A whole lot of them are just talking about what they are thinking right now. And that is how children live. That is how sages tell us to live in the now, live in the moment, and so on. And children do that. And I guess they just build on it, and it grows. Not necessarily they would what they are sharing will become anything related to their, let's say, profession. But that's not important for them, because anything they do, or rather anything we all do, develops us. It's kind of develops a whole lot of different skills to us. So that is what open learning is, where they are discovering themselves, most importantly, rather than, and discovering the world around them. And for us in Arohi, so open learning can be done anywhere, at your home, anywhere outside. But we also like the whole idea of all of us families coming together like a little community, so that we all can, connect with each other in different ways. Two people liking the same thing can talk about it, connect with each other, collaborate, do things together, adults with children, children with children, adults with adults. Also, different people can mentor, support each other, children supporting children, adults supporting children, children supporting adults, and so on. So the whole idea is to kind of to co-create our life, to co-create our learning, to do it all together, supporting each other all the time. So that is what Arohi is, bringing the open learning concept to the whole aspect of doing it as a community of families, right? So there are two ways in which Arohi exists. One is the physical campus, which is near Bangalore, which you might be aware. And the other is where people are connecting from wherever they are. They don't necessarily have to be in campus. So we have a virtual community also, right? So, yep, that's a small introduction I wanted to give. And we also kind of have a theme every Saturday, which Dwiji brings in some thought to it. So Dwiji, would you like to kind of start off the discussion with this thought of, discovery and discipline in open learning, which is, I think, very core to open learning.
So really nice to have a good spectrum of families participating today. So the theme is not supposed to be something, everything is around that. Just to clarify, it's just a seed idea that to start the conversation or to anchor the conversation in some sense. So the idea of discipline and discovery is fairly central in the whole open learning process as we practice it. And like Ratnesh said, the community in Arohi, the Arohi open learning community, is one flavor of open learning, where we feel that we don't just do things, or we don't just learn, but rather we do things. And once we start doing things, the doing bug kind of bites us, and then we really get into doing it. And you might remember, like when we were smaller, when our children, we observe them when they want to walk, so they will pick themselves up and try walking again. Or if they want to grab something, they're persistent. So, but then is that discipline? Most people will feel, oh, that's just trying. That's not discipline. But then if you really think about it, what does discipline mean? So discipline is when we do something with an objective in mind and keep at it till we get to that stage that we feel that, yes, I have done this. So the whole idea of open learning in some sense is to nurture that discipline, but in a very creative fashion, not as something that's imposed by someone else, but rather by something that we ourselves are motivated by. So, and the process of discipline is just one part of it. But then to go with that discipline, we need this whole idea of, okay, I want to discover, I want to know, like Ratnesh was sharing, what are the resources I can use? Okay, if I use this one, how will it turn out? If I use that one, what will happen now? What is it that I can gain? So the idea of discovery and discipline are fairly central to the way we practice open learning. And many a time people feel, oh, discoverers are not disciplined. But you look at any of the people who we celebrate as discoverers or explorers, unless they were disciplined, they wouldn't be able to do what they did. So this the idea of discipline needs to be really thought about or rethought, and that's what we do in open learning. So I thought that would be a good seed idea for a conversation, but we don't have to stick to that, given that we already have folks who are fairly motivated and have good probably ideas and questions that has brought them to the session. Let's get going with that, and if there is any quiet moment, then we will come back to discipline and discovery.
Right. Thanks, Viji. So yeah, so the floor is open. You can throw questions, you can anything. It's a discussion. So anybody can say anything and we can chit chat amongst us and see how we can help value to each other.
Ratnesh, recently I just discovered an issue. I wouldn't call it an issue. I mean, I'm exploring this state of situation with my daughter that unschooling, since during the pandemic there is there people are all they are inside the house. They're not communicating much and they're not mingling. And what happens is like the child is inside the house. We as parent we are providing the environment developing environment for the child, whatever is required, whatever we can facilitate according to us.
Sure.
But okay, now it is pandemic, so socializing is not happening. Okay, and as we have attended school, socializing for us, for children is going to school. They have friends from there. Now, what happens is when the schools are opening, the other children from the society, they are moving to school. So our children, when we are unschooling with them, they are in the house. Yeah. So I want one or two advice from you. Like, how do I make her socialize with people apart from school? Because since we are not going to school, children, they yearn for socializing, and they want communication to be happening around outside their house as well. She wants to explore the environment outside her house. Now she has explored everything quite in detail inside her house. Now she is too ready to go into somebody else's house.
Sure.
Now she was in a school that was a legal right, that because he is my or she is my school friend, I have the authority to move inside their houses and do the chit chatting with uncle and auntie and all that stuff. Now, since we are unschooling, we hesitate. Even I, as a mom, and I hesitate to send my daughter to make friends, and even she doesn't have that comfort zone. So can you just share some
Okay, so I'll put a couple of thoughts. So one is first of all, I'm not very sure if school by default is a socializing space, because it's very artificial. You only have people in the room of your age typically, and that is not how the world is. The world is mix of all ages, all kinds of people, which is not controlled by some teacher who would say, now sit down, now don't fight, now don't do this. In fact, I think open learners get a much more what I would say open social environment, where they can go ahead and be social with anybody. They can be social with an 80-year-old, they can be social with a 50-year-old, with a 20-year-old, with their age, with much younger age, older age. So it just doesn't matter. Yeah. So if I put myself in your place, I would say I won't even think about socializing, right? Just let the time flow, just let her explore. she will only find whom she wants to go to, whose house she wants to go to, whom she wants to make friend, and so on and so forth. The whole world is your social room. Why confine it to one classroom? Why not think that in a day the whole world is available? I can interact with anybody and everybody in this world, and whatever, have joy of interacting with so many people, right? So as and at different age, now your child is 4, when she becomes 6 and 8 and 10 and 16 and 20, her own social needs, desires, want, characteristics will evolve, change in many, many, many different ways. And again, I would say she's the best person to decide how or when or where she wants to socialize. That's the beauty of open learning, so which is real. Even as adult, I decide which party I want to go to, whom I want to meet, or do I want to just stay at home. Isn't it? We are all deciding for ourselves as adults, so why can't we let the child decide? Who
Finally,
says
I mean, like,
yeah, who, sorry,
unfortunately,
sorry.
I decided this very late whom I want to meet and whom I want to socialize, because I had a pack of already, prepared by the elders.
Yeah,
I had to.
yeah. So with your daughter, you both can enjoy learning socializing. If I think that I've socialized enough in my life, then that's a very limiting way to look at it. If I can say, I also need to learn how to socialize, or I can also enjoy, not even learn, forget learning. I can enjoy whenever I want to socialize, and my daughter can enjoy whenever she wants to socialize, and both will socialize in their own way. Then both of you are students of socializing and social life. So then it's a journey ahead, right? And both are equal. I mean, at least I would say I am equal to your daughter. She will possibly better at socializing people than me.
Yes.
So that's the way I would look at it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that does answer my question. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, more thoughts, more questions, any aspect. We don't need to go in any one direction. Yeah.
Could you just tell me about that RoliX, which you have that virtual? I want some more information on that.
Okay, so as I said, Arohi is a community of families. It's not a community of children, but it's a community of families. And families join the community to interact with each other, to do things together, and so on. Now, actually, the campus, whether it's the physical campus or the virtual campus, as in the RoliX, they are very similar. The idea is to get together and interact, connect, do things together, help each other, support each other, kind of the socializing that Raki is talking about, but each one deciding how much and in what flavor and with whom I want to connect and collaborate and do things. Yeah. So that is, so just the difference is in the campus, we are all in a physical campus. RoliX is more virtual. Everybody is from their home, whenever, whomever they want to connect for whatever. To give you an example, a group may say, hey, let's do theater together, right? So there is a small group of about 10 or 11 of us, some children, some adults. We all together meet once in a week and we do theater together because we like doing theater, simply. Right? There is no one reason to do it. It's not like we have to perform or anything. We just enjoy doing theater together. So we get together once in a week and we do that. So that's just one example. There's so many other ways in which once the community connects, then different people get together to do different things. Yeah. So that's basically how what RoliX is, which is, as I said, not very different. In the RoliX, you meet virtually using a combination of different, we have a social platform called Discord. We obviously use Zooms to meet, and then individuals can meet using whatever, WhatsApp calls or Zoom calls or whatever. So this whole is a virtual setup. And obviously at the campus, people can get together physically and do things together. Yeah. So that's how the RoliX works. Yeah.
How do people become members of this RoliX? What is the procedure for that? How do people connect together?
To join the community, you're asking?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you have
That's
already
what I
taken
know.
the
Yeah.
first step. The first step is to
No, to proceed
hear.
further. To proceed further.
Yeah, to proceed further, you just take the, you just connect with us. We will spend little time to explain how the whole thing works. So there would be another small meeting to possibly with your, including your child, to explain how ROEX works. And that's it, then you just join. There are no major formalities or anything. As I said, it's a community, and community by definition is very informal. There is no one person or one thing driving the community. So yeah, you just join the community, and then you see various what actions are happening, who all is doing what. You connect with whomever you want to connect with. Let's say you like playing chess, you may find somebody else playing chess, and you two together could be playing chess at 9 o'clock in the night. That's community, right? I wouldn't even know that you both are together playing chess, right? And could be in different cities, you could be virtually playing chess. So it just works like that. Then it's up to you to connect with different people. And it's not even limited to only children or only adults. There's lots of things happening between all the members of the community.
How will be the life of children physically in campus? Like, how do they explore? How can we come to know that what is he interested in?
Okay, in your case, you already know what he's interested in.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just
sure. So
no,
I would
apart from that, he's
yes, absolutely. So see, the life at the campus or even in ROEX, whether the child is at home, but in open learning, the life is very simple. Okay. As I said, whether it's at home or at campus, like Vinodini with her 2 daughters or Raki with her daughter, it's the same. The children decide what they want to do, explore, try out during the day, week, month, whatever time scale they are thinking of, and they just go ahead and do that. Now, the advantage you can say of a community is that the child not only thinks what I like doing, the child sees so many other people doing so many other things. The child could be seeing, oh, he's playing guitar. Oh, he's doing, this magic trick. Oh, she's making mandalas and art, and oh, he's into astronomy and so on. And then the child may get to, or not just child, even adult may connect with that particular child. Hey, I also want to try this out. Hey, what are you doing? I also want to see. So there's a lot of exposure that automatically happens, right? Not just the child gets exposed to what others are doing. The child gets to basically interact with a lot of people of different ages. And that kind of gives the child a very wider view of the world, because that's how the world is. World is not just one kind of people. World have bakers and makers and whatever, all kinds of people, right? So the child gets exposed to all of it. The child gets the option of trying. So when people ask me, how does a typical day goes? I say, I have no idea. Each child will have a different day every single day, because they are designing their day. They are thinking, what time I want to get up, what do I want to do after that, then what do I want to do, then what do I want to do till I go to sleep, right? So the whole day is decided by the doer or the person. Obviously, there are other people in the environment who could be cushioning you, connecting with you, helping you, supporting you, challenging you, pushing you, pulling you. Hey, you said you will be doing practice for 1 hour, but you are not doing. You're just watching a video on YouTube. What happened? So like that, anybody could be literally facilitating anybody else, right? Because anybody could be pulling anybody, pushing anybody, helping anybody. So that's how the community works. And that's how, let's say, life at, whether it's virtual campus or at the physical campus, that's how the life works, where we all, play a very dynamic role. Obviously, the central role in all of this is played by the parents, without doubt, right? So the central role is, or let's say the central role is played by the child. Then the next circle is the immediate family, which is the parents and siblings. And then the rest of the community is there to be there with you. So that's how it goes. Yeah, it's all very dynamic. So all I can say, I know you are in Sharjah, but anyway, let me still at least for benefit of Raki and Vinodini, and whenever you guys are coming to India, invite you to come and stay at the campus. Then you get the idea of how the whole thing works, right? Because there's so much of action, so many different things at the same time happening. Somebody will be doing something, somebody's playing cricket, somebody's playing guitar, somebody's doing art, somebody's cooking, somebody is making, whatever, a rocket, somebody is, whatever, somebody's writing poetry, somebody's reading a book, all happening at the same time.
And in case of on campus, what can be the duration of stay? Suppose assuming that I'll be settling down in Hosur, I've got a house in Hosur, we'll be settling down there.
Sure.
So
Any duration.
It's
an open learning community. Now, what does that word open means? Open obviously means we are open to anybody learning anything, but also open in any and every possible ways. Open to when you come, when you go, how much time you spend, 1 week, few weeks, 1 month, alternate weeks, alternate month, few years, maybe few lifetimes, I have no idea, right? So it's all very, very open. It is your life, so you decide when you want to be here and when you want to be elsewhere. Whichever place gives you the value that you are looking for, please go there. As simple as that, right? So it works as openly as that. There is no, it's not a school, or it's not a, something which is driven by somebody else. Each one is designing their life and then deciding what I want to do.
Actually, I have a plan to ask my brother to visit your place, so they can visit and have a look at it, to get an idea of how the life works on my behalf.
Well, I would say it's not a question of whether he can visit or he cannot visit. I would personally say that wouldn't really work. Okay, your brother visiting will not really tell you what it is all about, because it has to be experienced. It is not something which I can, give a review about, as in I open a book and I read a book and I tell you, hey, this is a good book about it. Because it's something that at least all of us haven't really in the strict sense of education haven't experienced, because we all went to school, right? In another way, we are experiencing it now. So if you really want to see how open learning works, yeah, Duji. Sorry, Duji wants to share something.
Yeah, I would like to add a few things.
Please go ahead, Duji.
I think, see, the idea of Arohi is experiencing. So if your brother can experience everything that you can, then we would like him also to be part of the community. I mean, see, we are very greedy people. We would like to more people we have, the more resources we have in the community who can participate, who can contribute, who can do things, who we can do things with. So it's not that we want only the parent or only the father or only the mother or only the grandparents or anything like that. So like Ratnesh was mentioning earlier, the whole world is a resource for us. We do not limit ourselves to saying only the child should join or only the parent should join, right? So from that perspective, your brother is always welcome to visit.
Yeah.
Will that be sufficient? Actually, no, it won't be sufficient.
No, yeah, I understand. It won't be sufficient. We have to experience it as it.
Correct. So if he feels that he would like to know more about Arohi and would like to see what we do there and see how he can participate and take up the whole idea of open learning in his own life, right? So as I was introducing myself, I mentioned I practiced open learning even before I discovered Arohi, and now that I have discovered Arohi, now I'm into it much more deeper and at a much more what shall I say, philosophical level as well. So so the idea of your brother visiting is always welcome, but we do not want to equate that to check.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
It doesn't work.
Definitely, it's not like that.
Also, I would recommend something that if you want to experience open learning, let's do it at your home first, right? That's the best place to start, right? Because if you are not doing open learning as a family at your home, there's no point doing it at ROE campus, right? So start with your own home, say from tomorrow onwards, okay, man, you decide what you want to do. Okay, and we all like right now, you decide what you want to do your day, correct? In the same way, just give that whole thing to your son. Maybe he's already doing it, and the whole family now works as a unit together, a smaller community, right, at your home, and then see how it goes, the ups and downs of it, the pulls and pushes of it, the struggles and the, so it's not an easy journey. It's even a more interesting, more masaledar journey, more spicier, right? Because now everybody is out in the open. Anybody can say anything, anybody can pull anything, anybody can do anything, right? And that makes it more interesting. And as you experience open learning at your home, then you have to just imagine it at a slightly more number level, right? Okay, that there is a space where there are more people doing it together, and then it would be easier for you to imagine. Like you already said, I want to pull him out of the school and let him explore music. Okay, and you said from then whatever the coming year, whatever academic year, I would say, how about doing it from tomorrow? At your home, you don't need to send him anywhere. You just need to say to him, man, your life is in your hands. In a way, you are not giving him freedom. In a way, what you are giving him is responsibility. You are saying you are responsible for yourself from now onwards, nobody else, right? No institute, no organization, no teacher, no nothing is responsible for you. You are responsible. You can take help of teachers, organizations, institutes, resources, people, books, websites, whatever. But finally, you are responsible for your life. You are the leader. So open learning is not about giving freedom. It's about giving responsibility, which I must tell you is much more tougher for us to give. We tend to hold the responsibility. I am responsible for my children. I am responsible for their happiness, for their life, for their future, for their career, for everything, for their bath, for their food. we end up doing all of that. I'm not saying you do that. I'm just generalizing it. So the idea is to say, no, I am not responsible anymore. You are responsible. And not just for tomorrow, but for the whole life. So I would suggest start open learning at your home. We are with you to support you and experience that. And then if you feel a larger, if he would like to be at the campus, if that would benefit, then that is it. He's so much into music. In fact, when you were sharing in the introduction about that he has already done 4-5 levels in the Trinity, and all that in music, I was thinking, would he benefit by coming to ROE, or will he benefit from going to, something like A.R. Rahman Institute, or I don't know where all music is taught, frankly, and some other place where, is Hosur the place, or is Chennai or Delhi or where, Bangalore, where there are far more technically advanced musicians who can really mentor him to flower into a full-fledged musician that he aspires to be. I guess that would really help. He can still be part of the community.
I also explored that option also. The thing is, everywhere to go into music, there is a specific age they mention. Like he should be above 15 years or 16 years to know more about technical details about music. So he'll be in a mature mind. His mind should be mature to understand what they are teaching technically. So anyhow, we have decided that he's going to go into music as his career. There's no way, no second thought about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, to support him, he needs more time to spend on music, for which the current schooling system is a big hindrance for him.
Absolutely.
He doesn't find time because of the pressure from the school, from the pressure for doing the homeworks and other things. He never finds time. So my wife, she's already saying that let us stop studying from now onwards. From tomorrow onwards, we'll stop studying.
Yeah,
What
24th October is a good day.
She's saying is correct. I agree by that. But the thing is, the whole academic year till from April to October, November, he has struggled to do his 8th grade. So what I was thinking, let him finish this 8th grade. A matter of another couple of more months. So he'll be 8th grade finished, and then we'll start the other option. That's what
I must tell you, why even waste one day, right? What will 8th grade give him, or what will even 10th grade give him, or what will even 12th grade give him? The funny part is, we must realize just doing 8th, 10th, 12th, Even college in nowadays, nothing. You don't get anything out of it. If you really want a good job, you have to go post-graduation and blah, blah, blah. Because if that's the route you are going to make your career, you really have to specialize. Only then you get a reasonably decent job. Unless you are not worrying about that and developing your skills so much that people value you, not for your degree, but for the skills that you have. So I would say, why even waste one more day on Earth or whatever? It's a sinking ship in that sense. He's not enjoying it. You are not enjoying it. He loves music. He's showing great interest in music. If you ask me, what else?
The reason why I was thinking about Arohi at this time, when you asked that he should go into music, the thing is, he'll learn a lot of, like, what about life? He'll learn about life.
Sure.
As you said, that they can decide on their, what they want to do, they can decide.
I'm not trying to dissuade you from coming to ROE. Even within ROE, he can continue his music journey. We can find mentors for him. We can, when I say we, not me, we as the whole community can find people who can support him in his music journey, as well as he can explore other things and be with other people. And as you said, the whole developing oneself as an individual can happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He can learn what his life is.
Absolutely.
By seeing different types. And he won't be mingling with his age group. There'll be, as you said, there'll be an age group.
All age groups.
Age groups.
Absolutely.
So he'll be knowing plus and minuses of each and everyone on that age group. And moreover, he'll be more acquainted to more nature. Like he'll know about nature. So many things he can explore.
Absolutely.
That is the main purpose I want to put him in ROE.
Absolutely. And first thing, there will be a big line outside him saying, teach us keyboard, teach us keyboard.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that. Yes, absolutely.
So it is a good, this is a good session, I believe. So we had a lot of new things to learn from you people. So I hope this would continue.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to know, you had then mentioned about field trips, no? You in a video saying that I like to organize field trips. A child was saying to about that. So what kind of field trips do you all do when in ROE?
Okay. So just drop the word field out of that thing. We do trips. We don't know what is a field trip. Right? That again sounds as a very construed way. So, well, we do trips of any kind and every kind, and who decide what kind of trips is again decided by individuals, by children, by the whole community. So I'll give you an example, right? One mother and daughter came for about a week, and when she was going, she said, we asked her, where are you going? So she said, we are going to Mangalore. We said, oh, but you are from Goa. Why are you going to Mangalore? She said, no, we are going to do surfing there. And we said, surfing? Never heard, we've all heard of it, seen it on videos, but we have never done surfing. We also want to come along. So there you go. 7, 8 of us went along with her and did 1 week of surfing. And from that year onwards, every year we go for surfing. Oh. So now who knew? I could have, if you would have asked me a year before that, where all you go, I wouldn't have said surfing to you. But now I can say we go surfing also. So the trips are not really, decided by a particular agenda. It can be as spontaneous as surfing, or it could be based on somebody's interest that I want to do this, or I want to travel there. It could be something which is 5 kilometers away, or could be 500 kilometers away. That doesn't matter. It could be a 1 hour trip. It could be a 1 day trip. It could be a 10, 20, 1 month, 2 month trip. Yeah. So there is no limit to where obviously the traveling has been constrained for the last 2 years for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
But if you leave the COVID aside, yes, we go anywhere and everywhere. We go based on whoever is wanting to go, how many ever people are wanting to go, with whomever they are wanting to go. So there is no limit to trips. And as that boy was saying in the video, Adarsh was saying in the video, he likes to organize them, right? Because they have to do everything. They have to book, they have to find out place to stay, what all will they do, everything, right? It's because
That's
that's
a
what
huge
life is.
responsibility also.
Yeah, but they don't look at it as a responsibility. For them, that's fun.
Yes,
Because
yes.
doing all of that and going and negotiating, finding a place and talking to them and so on and so forth. Yeah. So there is no really limit
Yeah.
or a certain, there's not even a frequency. It is very, very open. Just that it has been
Okay.
hampered for the last 2 years. Otherwise, it's very, very driven by people.
Okay. I have one more question also.
Sure, sure.
As I'm doing homeschooling this year for my kids, it is not, I really cannot come out of that studies part very soon, because all these years it has been their study with them.
Yeah.
And now my elder daughter, she's in the 7th grade, and my younger was in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So now if I want to come for open learning, so I don't want to take them away fully from the studies part also.
Sure.
So I was just I want to know a suggestion from you, like next year, if I want to put my children in ROE, and can I do like 1 month of in ROE and 1 month at home with the studies part, because I don't want to take them fully away from studies.
Absolutely,
also.
absolutely. You can do
Because it takes a
anyhow.
lot of time to set our mind also
Sure, sure.
because we are into the studies thing.
So I will give you three suggestions. Number one, suggestions: come and stay with us now, as in now in the next few weeks or few months. Okay, don't wait for the next year. Come and stay for a week with us. Right? Just experience it without any agenda. Not saying that this is to decide or anything. No. Don't come to decide anything. Just come to be with us. Right?
Okay.
In a way, we are saying we look forward to you being with us, right? To enjoy with you and learn with you and do with all of you, right? So come as a family, stay with us for a week, so you get the taste of Arohi. Then the second suggestion is, as you taste it, then you will start thinking, you automatically will start thinking. Then you start discussing with your children, okay, how do we want to take this forward? Right? When do we want to take it? So you start planning. You start exploring different options. You will also meet other parents and other families, right? And then it will be the second suggestion is to have lots of discussions within your family. And whenever we feel like having discussions with other families, connect with other families, right? If you want to be part of the online community, the ROEX, become part of that so that you can have more discussions, right?
Correct.
But one warning I'm giving you, that your children will start questioning a lot of things. Why this mama and why that mama? Right? Because they will
So the problem is, I actually even saw your calendar also to see when to come. But the problem is, actually I'm a phonics trainer and teacher. So I'm like engaged with classes from 12 o'clock. If it starts at 12, it ends only at 6 o'clock with 1.5 hours of lunch break. So it is impossible for me to I have almost like 60 kids, and I handle 2 schools also for classes.
Wow.
So if I give a week 5 days gap, then I have to take nearly 12 to 13 batches compensation class, which is really very big for me. And I have no time to
fair enough. Whenever you find that time, I'm not trying to say now, whenever, but you would need to, take out that 1 week, okay, and experience it. I would say it is still worth that while whenever you are able to do it. So I'm not trying to say do it now. Okay. So that's my second recommendation, that have a lot of discussions, have a lot of interactions within your family to understand open learning.
So what I thought was, first I could join in for the ROEX.
Sure.
So that
You
from
can
here
do it that way also. You can do it that
go
way
on
also.
now, and then slowly I can. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can do that also. Yeah, absolutely. I have a third suggestion also for you, right? Is that so apart from having a lot of interactions within your family, start thinking, you have to think that what am I really wanting for my children, right? Is it that I want them to give something? Is it that I want them to get something? How is it that I want my children to be, right? Not just now, not just like next 1 year, 2 years, but like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. See if you can explore that that whole thinking. The reason I'm suggesting this is a lot of us, because we are already, we have come through a particular conventional system, we tend to think that, oh, it is kind of our way. It is this that we want, whatever, A, B, C, D. I want this for my child, a good career, a good this, a good that, and a good this, right? We obviously want all good things. But then when we start little more thinking about, do I really want that? Do I really want that? Or who should want that? And then we start realizing what is it that how I can actually value add to them. Do I value add to them by way of deciding what is it that they should get? Or do I value add to them by value adding to what they are deciding? Which is a little different. One is I decide what they should get, or I decide whatever they decide, in that I will value add to them. So that's a very interesting journey, which obviously is a journey. It takes, as you said, you have taken one step, moved away from conventional to home, right?
Correct.
So bit by bit, you can take those thought process and
yeah,
see
that's
how
what I don't want to. I cannot actually take in fully, but step by step, I need to actually
absolutely
go into it. So I just thought, because of my time, I'm not able to come over there. So I thought, okay, let me go in with RoliX first.
Sure.
Put them, come into that and get to know. At least my children will have at least a virtual experience of what is happening. And
no,
then
even you
when
would
I
have.
get time,
It is not just your children, even you would have, because it's not about children, it's about the whole family.
Yeah. So that is what, this is one thing I just wanted to know about.
Sure.
We have a plan to visit in December. Do we have to have any prior booking for that?
Yes. Please drop into our website. There is a calendar. So you'll have to see which weeks you can be here. And sorry, I'll just change my place. It's become very dark here. I was sitting outside. Yeah. So yes, so you see the calendar, and there is also an option of registering for the visit. So you'll have to do that part. If you have, whenever, as in when you are planning, you can do that. Absolutely. I'll just post the link also, just in case that would help you. But anyway, when you visit the website, there is a page called visit link. Yeah. So that will give you all the information. Yep, more thoughts, more questions.
I have one question, Ratnesh, that suppose me and my husband visit your campus, ROE, like since both are in IT, okay, so he would have to come back in a day, because he's cannot miss his office. So is it possible that me and my daughter can continue staying the rest of the 6 days or a week?
Sure. We say at least one parent. Yeah. At least one parent. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I also would ask for advice or help, like in case both the parents are working and they have a very tight schedule. And when you said that, suppose we go for a trip also, we go with our laptops, okay? And we attend our meetings and we do our coding stuff and all that. So when I went through your website, it was written that please keep your work aside.
Yes.
So that 1 week we have made off as of now. So what do you suggest on that front? Like, how do we manage with that?
Yep, we have already written it down. So we would suggest it is.
Can you just give us a,
Yeah, I would say it is look at it as an investment. It is not, and for your child, right? And for yourself also, as not just as a parent, but as an open learner yourself. So I think it's an investment, and you might need to pause your work for a week. I think it's worth it. Yeah, work is good. Work is important. but I think we need to see what else we want. And if you're not ready for it now, that's okay. One is not trying to suggest it has to be done ASAP. No, not at all. As I was saying to Vinodini also, that as and when you are ready for it, as and when you feel this is as important, so important that I can pause my work for a week and say, hey, I want to understand this by experiencing it, so that I can think about my family's and especially my child's journey of learning. And yeah, for that 1 week is hardly anything. 5 days, it's a very, very small time. Yeah. So can I say bye to my laptop and say hi to something else for a week? Yes, yes. I think that is why I'm trying to not trying to say that it should be done early. I'm more trying to say it should be done when you are actually ready for it. When you feel that, yes, this is important for me.
And also why haven't you allowed a weekend visit? I mean, that was my question, because that's a personal curiosity. I just want to know out of curiosity. It's like an exam kind of a thing that we went through when I went through your website, that come for a 1 week trip and no weekend visits. If as a working parent, we would have been more happier, coming on a weekend and exploring the place. But then I just want to know your reason, because I feel
Sure.
there
The
must be
reason is
some.
simple. Many of our families are from surrounding areas, so weekends they go back to their homes. So if you come on the weekend, you will only meet me, and that's not fun. That's the boring. I'm the most boring person on the campus. The most interesting persons are all the children who do so many interesting things. Believe me, what will you do with me? You will get fed up after half an hour, right? So when you come during the week, you are seeing how the whole community is alive with action. Yeah. So that's what is the real experience. So yeah. So weekends. Pardon?
The weekend would be like a resort visit then.
Yeah, boring resort, that too, in the sense, boring people at least. The most interesting people have gone away from on the weekend. Right? Only few children who are from other cities, they stay on the weekends, but they are few in number, and that also they also switch over to a kind of a weekend mode. Right. So weekdays, Monday to Friday, is when the whole community is there, at least whoever wants to be there that week. And then weekends is just few of us here. Some children from other far off cities, and myself and few more people. Yeah.
Yeah, Ratnesh, I have one question. So I was just asking that 1 month of open learning and 1 month of homeschooling. But now that 1 month period, do I have to come and pick them back again on Friday, or can they stay for a 1 month stretch there?
Well, I think it's too early for you to ask all of these logistical questions. That's why I'm saying first you come and experience. Then all of the answers will evolve out of you and your children. I will throw this whole thing back to you all. How do you want to design your life? See, we are not designing anybody's life. You are designing your life. There are children who come up to me and say, this weekend I'm not going home. Okay. This month I'm not coming. Okay. Our job is to say, okay, and understand what is their thinking, what is their planning. Just 4 days back, one girl, her name is Avni, she's about 10 years old. She said, Uncle, I'm not coming in November. I said, okay. What are you doing? And actually, I didn't even say, what are you doing? She didn't even let me say that. The moment I said, okay, she went on in detail to talk about how she has only planned the whole month. What all will she do in that 1 month, and why she is not coming to campus? Because she wants to devote totally that 1 month on climbing. She does this wall climbing as a sport. You've seen those pegs on the wall where they climb up to a great height.
Yeah.
So she's into that sport. And she said, I have drawn my full schedule. What food will I eat? When will I get up? What exercises? And then she showed me her whole plan. And then on top of that, when her parents came to pick her up, They were talking, my goodness, she's planned her month so much in detail. We are overwhelmed. We have never planned our life in so much detail. Right. And she's just, 10 years old. So what I'm trying to indicate is I want, the whole idea is to get children to start doing that, is to start thinking about becoming responsible for themselves based on their interest. It's not about ROE, it's not about the campus, but it's about all of us together giving that space to each other, yet giving the support. So we are all, each one of us designs, but each one of us knows that while I'm designing my whole, whatever, week, month, day, others are there to support me, help me, in whichever way I need help. And that is a very comforting, you can say, thought that yes, there are more people. It's not like I'm just doing it all alone. So come experience. You want to start with ROEX, that is also fine. Experience, and as kind of things grow, then you will only decide how you want to do it. It's too early to decide how you would like to come and go and all of that. And believe me, you can't decide that alone. It will be you all deciding together, you and your children and your family together deciding, not us. We will be only on the receiving end of the information. Okay, we can, if you have more questions, we can take more questions. At least I have time till 6:30. So if you have any thoughts, not just questions, any thoughts, anything that's going on in your mind you'd like to share.
I just wanted to know about this NIOS of 10th standard. No, they come to 10th standard.
Sure.
And how do the children here, if they come to ROE, how is it for the 10th grade? And a little knowledge about NIOS.
Okay, so are you trying to ask how will they appear for NIOS examination?
Yes,
is that what you're
yes,
asking?
yes.
Okay, so I would answer that question in a slightly different way. You asked for NIOS, which is fair enough, but you could have asked for how will the child learn embroidery, or how will the child learn, let's say, skiing, or how will the child learn guitar if he wants to learn a guitar, right? Now, what I'm trying to say is it's the same. The answer is the same. Suppose the child wants to learn guitar, or suppose the child wants to give NIOS, or suppose the child wants to learn baking. How does anybody learn anything, right? Yeah, one can, all the options are available to each child or each person, and they decide how they want to. So as I said, whether it's guitar or embroidery or cooking or NIOS, they will decide where they need help, where they can do themselves, where they want to watch a video and do it, where they need a teacher to teach them, or a guide to guide them, or an expert to mentor them, and so on. So it really depends on each child, and it depends on what the child wants to do and why the child wants to do something. Right? So one child may say, I'm giving NIOS just to get passing marks, so don't bother, I'll somehow manage. Yeah, tata, bye bye. Other child may say, no, I want to score the top marks because I want to go into that college, so I want to do this way. So get me some really good tutors. I need some really, specialized people. A third child may say, I don't even want to give NIOS. Who wants to give NIOS when I have, let's say, I want to play football, I want to play music, I want to become a writer, or I want to do this, in which case that child doesn't need NIOS, the child may need something else. So it all depends on, again, the same answer, depends on the child, what the child is wanting, looking for, why is the child wanting it, and then the community comes up and gives the child that support in whichever area the child needs support.
Yeah, thank you.
See, the whole thing is we are so used to somebody designing the whole thing for us. 2-year curriculum, 5-year curriculum, 1-year curriculum. I will make you a writer, doctor, BA in journalism, or whatever, MBA. So we are so used to somebody else doing the whole thing, and we just doing the career part of it. But when you start doing it yourself, it is so much more fun. knowing that there are people to support. Yeah, just to give you an example, that there is one girl, her name is Misha. She said that I like writing. I don't know if I want to become a writer or not, but I really like writing. So we said, okay, you like writing, awesome. So we will give you a prompt every day. Every day you have to do one writing. Okay, the prompt can be given by anybody, right? But there will be a prompt given and you have to write every single day. Right? So we formed a group called SWAD, we short form to SWAD. It's called Serious Writers of Arohi Daily. So this group of people write daily on a prompt given by somebody. Right? And they actually do that. Every single day they write and they share. And nobody comments on that. Nobody gives a thumbs up or a thumbs out or a heart or nothing. There are no comments, no nothing. You just write every single day. That's it. You read others also, whoever is writing, you read everybody's, but nobody gives any comment, no feedback, no nothing. Because the idea is not to get into good, bad, this is right, wrong. The idea is to just write every single day. If you write, think what will happen in a year or 2 years. These children are what, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years. In 2-3 years, they would have written so much. I think if they would be ready for being writers any which way, whatever they want to use their writing for in the future.
It is everyone writes. The
No,
whole
whoever is into writing. But it started with one girl saying I'm interested, and then more people joined the group.
Okay.
It's always like that in a community. It's not like anything happens one-to-one. Anything once somebody says, and we say, okay, who else is interested? And everybody who is interested joins it. And it is, we have adults writing, we have children writing, and there's a whole writing group.
Okay. Nice.
So for everything, it is like that, not just for any one thing. So that's why I say it's for the family, it's not for the child.
It's really nice to involve everybody with the community and in getting children involved in it.
Yeah.
I would want to just clear my doubt on one thing, Ratnesh, that what happens to these children who give NIOS, right, or their 12th with an open learning? I mean, when they step out in society, like as a school-going child, I came with certain certificates of 10th, 12th, and then college, and then I did a specialization on something, according to which I could join a company. Being the co-founder is a different thing, but then first you take an internship, and then you get a job placement somewhere. You start your bread and butter journey somewhere, right? So from NIOS and 12 from open learning, where do these children move to? I mean, where can they decide to move to? Are they accepted by society or these companies? I mean, what is the criteria? I mean, how do they move about?
Okay. So what I'm understanding is you are saying that one option is that the children go through 10th, 12th, do the college, and then get the job because they've got a certain degree.
Even if they don't do the 10th, 12th, take for example, suppose my daughter, she's interested in engineering, right? Now, I facilitate her engineering journey through everything, okay? Now, if I have to make her join a company, the company will ask for a certain, certificate.
Okay, pause here.
Yeah.
Okay, pause here. The company isn't asking for certificate. The company is just used to asking for certificate. Yeah, which is different from company asking for certificate. The company is used to. If today Rakhi wants to employ somebody in her team, you are in IT, right, Rakhi? So if you want to employ something in a team, typically you will, put out an ad saying whatever, engineering in computer science or something like that, right? And let us say you put out an ad and then you get 100 applications, where 99 applications are from students of engineering who might be, let's say by now, some 20, 21 years old, right? And there is another application, the 100th application, is from a child who is just 16 years old and who says, I have done coding for the last 4 years. Here are 27 projects that I have done because I love coding. I'm totally into coding. And this is my portfolio of 27 projects. Will you consider that person?
To tell you the truth, we have considered somebody like that.
Then
but,
you already have the answer.
But as an unschooling parent, you don't want to move from the structured way. That taking the people who are champion in their fields is by luck, what we consider in our company. But for our own children, we just feel like securing every single bit of the stone that they step on. So yeah, you want to make every stone the softest one for your child. I think that is where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I mean, that's one approach. That's been the traditional approach, that let's make the stone the softest. The open learning approach is let's make their feet stronger. They will find out their own stones, or maybe they will jump over the stones, or maybe they will fly. That really depends on them. Let them develop their own wings, own legs, and all that. And when they do that, we don't have to bother about anything. In fact, we subscribe to a saying which says that a bird isn't afraid of a branch breaking because she has faith in her wings. Right? So why should we worry about it? And in today's world, this technology world itself is changing so rapidly. If you had some skills, suddenly the skill is outdated. Suddenly COVID comes and something else is required, and so on and so forth, right? We can't even say that the stones we have laid out will work out for the child. Who knows what will happen in 10 years? In spite of the best of the intentions, in spite of the best of the designs, we may not be able to make them ready for future. Yeah. Finally, they will have to make themselves ready for the day they are living in, the skills that is required today, and they keep changing every single day. Yeah. So I would say that's the conventional path, where that's why it's called a path, because they've laid out these stones. In open learning, there is no path. Right? Because we said path is not required. The capability is what is required, and that is what the child is working on. Vijay, I think you should add something.
Yeah. Sorry, I was running an errand while I was on the speaker. On the earphone. So, Raki, the question that I would have is, okay, I guess Raki has stepped away. But the point that I would try to put forward is that, even when they go through a conventional education, are they assured of something? Right? Nobody is assured of anything just because they have gone through the motions of 10th standard, 12th standard, engineering, whatever. Right? So the idea of securing something does not happen through just education. It happens more from how we engage and what are the ways in which we support our children or whoever we are bothered about. So it's just that there is a laid out path, and in open learning we say, we can help you build the path, or we are there with you as you build your path, or it could be multiple paths as well. And the other aspect that I would like to kind of stretch it a little beyond what Ratnesh said is, just because someone has a degree, they don't get a job. They get a job only when they can demonstrate that they can do certain things. And Ratnesh mentioned about doing certain projects and demonstrating that. But an open learner has to find their resources as they are learning over the years, and constantly need to keep pitching to people, hey, I am worth your time. I would like to work with you. I would like to do things with you. I would like to learn from you. So, in some sense, they have a lot of practice in convincing people, hey, I deserve your time. I demand your time. I'm worth you giving me some chance, giving me a chance. So in that sense, I feel open learners, as they go through and kind of, season, they are better equipped in making their case than someone who goes to a conventional education, because in a conventional education, up to that point, everything is laid out for them. They don't have to decide. They don't have to convince anybody. All they need to do is mug up and score some marks in a exam. Right. I mean, I'm just reducing it to the lowest common denominator, but effectively that's what happens. So as we go through open learning ourselves, and that's the third point, that it's not just the child who's going through open learning when they are part of the open learning community. It's the entire family that is participating in it. So I'm sure you recognize that there are lots of things that you yourself would want to do and want to learn. And as we go through the processes, and we have seen a few folks changing their careers once they have started open learning. What is the signal? What is the what is the learning that a child or children in the community draw when they see such mobility, when they see such progress, right? So there are a lot of things that happen as we do things in a community, and it's much more creative, it's much more uncertain, but it could be way more enriching, or I shouldn't even say could be, it is way more enriching than if one is following a laid out path of conventional education, interview, internship, job. Yeah.
So I want to just end this particular conversation with that thought, Viji, when you talked about discovery as part of the core to send open learning, is that in a conventional system you discover jobs. In open learning you discover yourself. That to me is the big thing, right? And that is what is real fun. Meaning, in jobs they will manage. These kids are too smart. They'll figure out what the skills they need at different points, and I'm sure they will not just develop it and crack it. They will kind of floor it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And you're giving too much value by saying they will discover jobs. Even that is not.
Okay,
not
at least they discover college.
In conventional education.
Yes.
Yes, to tell you the truth, I am discovering myself, though I'm in an IT firm, but then I'm discovering myself with psychology. I am a student of psychology. I have enrolled myself and I'm studying the subject and giving my examinations on my own. Yeah. So, yeah, somewhere I do connect with every thought of yours, but I think they are spread apart, and just have to wrap it up and get together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, see, we have a saying that nature is not all wrapped up; it is all spread out and vast. So
super. I think that's
you sure can find your own twigs and yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that's the perfect quote to end today's session, Vijay.
Okay.
I was just looking also at the watch. It's
great,
been around.
Nice talking to all of you.
Yes, thank you very much. And as I said, do visit our website and connect with us if you would like to, visit. Then also, or if you would like to be part of the virtual community, any which way, you can just connect with me and we can take it forward. Yep. So good.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a nice
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye.
And by the way, did you mention about the other sessions, Ratnesh?
Oh, no. So that's your